Today's February 4th. I'm starting my detox, diet, hiking, all of that New Year resolution. It's happening today. I also have a very big complaint. I'm really pissed off to see misbehaved children. And then after you're just like disciplining these children, you see the parents coming in, rolling in, and then spoil them like nothing all over again. I mean, this may be a very difficult situation for if you were a teacher. So I actually feel really bad for teachers because there's a lot of people out there with parenting problems and they just drop off their kid at school, and the poor teacher, instead of just teaching them, also have to teach them manner, how to behave, and yet at the same time are not allowed to touch them. I just don't know how you can do it. I mean, some of these kids are just outrageous, you know. I don't believe in violence, but I do believe in having authority as a parent, and for it to get to this far where, you know, they're throwing major tantrums or behaving in a certain way, and the parents just let them. I mean, yeah, I'm very judgmental. I'm going to acknowledge that, and that really pissed me off to see, you know, I don't care what background. There's a lot of parents out there who, you know, are poor or rich, or it's not even about the circumstances, you know, your circumstance, whether you're rich or poor. This just is about, you know, rather you love your child, spend that time trying to figure out what's the best solution for them and not yourself, and basically not putting yourself before them, you know. And some of these things like, oh, you know, oh, just give it to them, they're crying, you know, they're making a scene, just give it to them. You know, I think there's a lot of better ways to handle children like that. You know, for example, taking them out of the situation. For example, if they're misbehaving in school, class, dinner table, anywhere where they're misbehaving, take them out of that scene so they know that they cannot behave that way when they're in that situation. But to see them throw tantrum and then the parents giving in, you know, it just doesn't make them or the kids or the surrounding people suffer, but it makes going on in their future life when people start saying no to them, when people start not giving them things, how are they going to start reacting? Right? That's what's mind-blowing to me, is that you think it's okay for them to behave this way. What happened when they're alone out in the world? You know that not everybody's going to spoil them. There's 100 people applying for one job. How are you going to be able to give them the job? How are you going to be able to help them survive the real world if you're just going to spoil them that way? Anyway, so that's my 2 cents. You know, I'm just mind blown away with some of the behavior, some of these kids nowadays, you know, and then just seeing the parents allowing all these things to happen. Like, you know, if someone were to say, put your shoes away. Let's say the parent's telling the child, put your shoes away. I don't see anything wrong with that. I mean, why not put your shoes away? Right? You enter someone's house and you need to take off your shoes and put it away, right? Why would a child throw a tantrum? And then the parent's giving in, okay, you can wear your shoe, but you need to wrap the bag around your shoe. You know, that's just ridiculous. Just take off your shoe like any normal child would. Like, follow the rules, follow the manners that's being taught by your parents or whatnot. And if you're not teaching your kids manner, then let other people teach them. You know, if you're not good at parenting, you know you're struggling, let other people do it. And then follow what the other people are recommending. You know, you can't send your kid to someone else's house wanting them to teach manners, and then you go back and teach them all the bad stuff again. What's the point? Wasted our time, their time, everyone's time, right? So anyways, I'm just venting. I just can't stand, you know, children who don't listen. And all of this stem is from the parents. You can't even really blame the child, right? It's all about the parenting. It's all about the parenting issues. I get it. You know, everyone has a struggle, hard life, and, you know, you pass that on to your children. That's the problem. Like, you chose to have kids, then you need to take the responsibility of what's going to happen to that child. Instead of just, oh, they're mad now, this and that, because you can't deal with them. Give them the iPad. You know, that's where all the stem of the problem is going to be. They can't just get an iPad when they grow up and as an adult and something bad happens. You know, or they didn't get that job. You think they're going to be happy with just your iPad giving it to them? Or buy them a new car, you know? That would make them happy. They just won't know how to make a living or adjust to real life. You know, so I'm just thinking in the long term. I think, you know, sometimes we think that, oh, give it to them now. But the reality is long term. How are they going to be raised? How are they going to grow up to be? Are they going to be that person who steals from society? Or are they going to be that person who give back to society? or they're just the people who just live in society on without, without anybody ever noticing, or however you want to live your life. But I'm just saying it's just a lot more of that happening nowadays. I don't remember in my childhood, seeing all these things happening to that kind of level. Yes, I was spoiled. I was a spoiled child, and I see how I was raised, but I was raised with like 7 other siblings, so it's very different to see like 1 or 2 child, like if you have only 1 or 2 child, how you would treat them versus having 6, 7, 8 children, so it's definitely a different kind of environment and circumstances. But either way, like I don't see myself kicking off my shoes, yelling at my parents at age 5, or just being at that age and not listening to my parents. I would have got some whooping, And so just to see all these 5-year-old, just having their way, doesn't matter who's right or wrong. The parents is like, I don't want to see my child cry. Give them their phone. Give them the iPad. Even cell phones. Oh, that just didn't bring me to another level. Kids having, $1,000 cell phone. I just can't comprehend that. Why would they need that? That's like carrying a mini computer with them everywhere. All you want them is to call you for emergency, right? So why do you need to give them such a high-tech cell phone? Now they're on YouTube. They're learning stuff from people, And most of the YouTuber, they have certain responsibility, right? But who knows? Who knows who your kid's watching and if that person is a good influence or a bad influence, right? You don't know. So I just think it's not a good idea. I think maybe when they are older, middle school or high school, to give them a smartphone. All they really need is a cell phone to call you. I'm sorry, not even like a smartphone, like a 3-button cell phone. Emergency call to the parent or 911 phone call. That's all they really need at the age of, I don't know, 5, 10, 5 to 10. Like, why would they need a super sophisticated cell phone before they even hit middle school? I just don't understand that. And anyway, so I'm done venting, but that's what I'm gonna be doing.